Hey everybody, it's Erik Engebretson here. We're riding in the car and I was just reading about the BLS jobs report, and I figured I'd come to you with a bit of an update here on housing, the Fed, kind of what all this means for housing and mortgage rates and all that fun stuff, since I haven't done one of these in a while. So the BLS jobs report came out today. This is probably the most important jobs report. It showed that the U.S. created 236,000 jobs. That was right in line with estimates. There was a lot of people that thought that this may miss because there's been a lot of information in the labor market that shows that it is losing steam, if you will. But they did add 450,000 people to the workforce, so that was really good to see our labor participation rate rise, because that had been falling really since COVID. I guess it's been coming back since COVID, but this was a big number to add. So the actual unemployment rate fell from 3.6 to 3.5. So the labor market remains really resilient, especially in the hospitality sector. As the hospitality sector begins to ease and gets back to full employment, I think we'll start to see some of these wage losses in other parts of the economy take hold, and you'll see this unemployment rate rise at some point. Hours worked fell. So this was interesting because when you think about it from an employee's point of view or an employer's point of view, after COVID, it was hard to find people to work. So people hired like crazy. Well, now as the markets begin to ease a little bit and we get a little softer economy, you wonder if employers are beginning to cut hours instead of cutting jobs. And so it'll be interesting to follow that and see how that plays out. So really kind of an overall mixed bag. So what does that mean for housing? What does that mean for the short term on interest rates and kind of property values and likelihood of finding that, the perfect house? So what all does that mean? So inventory still remains historically tight nationally, but specifically in the North Atlanta metro. Inventory is still very tight. Homes that are well put together, that are either recently renovated or in very good shape, that are priced correctly, are still going to multiple offers. So we're still seeing multiple offers. Definitely less common, but still not that uncommon. So it's still heavily a seller's market. Wages have been rising. They rose again last month. So you got tight inventory, you got rising wages, and in January we had slightly lower interest rates. So it should be no surprise to anybody that housing appreciation went up by 0.2 to 0.8, depending on where you look, in the month of February. This is coming off the lows of the crash, if you will, of about 2.5 to 3% off the highs. I could make a whole separate video on why that 2.5 to 3% has a lot to do with cash, because the cash buyers are definitely getting more of that discount than the finance buyers. So, all in all, this is all good news. The economy remains very stable, even though it's starting to show signs of cracks. It probably means that the Fed is absolutely going to raise rates next month, which is kind of unfortunate. We were hoping that there'd be enough information to have them pause, because I specifically think that there definitely needs to be a pause. We get the CPI number next week. That could definitely cause them to rethink whether they want to raise or not. CPI is the Consumer Price Index, so this is the indication of inflation. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I'm going to try to get back into doing this every week. So I will have another video out on Wednesday or Thursday after we get that CPI number, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about rising prices and decline and kind of what all that means, especially in the local market. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Good Friday, a happy Easter for all that celebrate. For the other ones, for anybody else that celebrates, happy Masters Friday. What a wonderful weekend, even if it is a little rainy. So have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.